Hello, space nerds. Star Citizen Alpha 4.3 is in Evocati testing. It's currently still in the NDA, but I am here to give you a little update on what that includes. We're going to jump straight into it here with the posted to Spectrum. We've got a PTU only patch. This is Evocati, so it's still on NDA. That means I'm going to get some footage, but I can't show it to you just yet. So come back next week for that. We're at a 600 player count, of course, still in the shards, and we're looking at testing of the Onyx facilities, mission distribution, hangar spawning, dynamic snow ladder improvements, and a new sniper rifle. Let's jump into the details. First, the Onyx facilities house a new investigation mission system set in approximately 100 newly added abandoned research locations spread throughout Stanton. That's significant. That is significant, folks. They could not dream of adding 100 new locations prior to this year. Say what you will about whether the game is stable or not, they can much more easily maneuver around adding things to this game now because of server meshing, and I think that's making a bigger difference than people let on. While these ASD locations are abandoned, players and mercenary NPCs alike will be exploring these derelict-associated sciences and development installations to recover data, solve puzzles, and uncover the mysteries within these hazardous environments. With the release of 4.3, the first two wings will be available, with the third and concluding chapter to this part of the regen crisis arriving the following month in 4.3.1. Now, I know the comments are already starting. These are forced PvP locations. There's no reason to go to them. It's all a waste. Besides the fact that there are 100 new locations, though, I do think that it's reasonable to at least try these out. If you get killed by somebody, my heart goes out to you. It's frustrating and annoying. But look, I'm sympathetic to cooperative zones not coming in with this update. I am. I wish that they had, but I think getting new locations is important. I think anything that is coming into the game at this point is being weighed against what we will be seeing in 1.0 and the goals that they need to hit going towards that. Star Citizen is clearly not getting the bulk of development resources right now, so I think that if they're putting something in, it's going in with at least the expectation that they can't just waste the potential of it. That's why I'm hopeful that this edition of Underground Facilities is the beginning of our march towards possibly seeing them connected to distribution centers and getting the underground facilities that we already knew about that were talked about years ago. That being said, there will be mercenary NPCs in these locations, so it's not like they are completely uncombative. And I know when people say PvE, sometimes they literally just mean no combat, so I'm sorry about that. Continuing on, Arkan Malor is going to be a new mission giver from the Hawkrow agency, tasking you to venture into these abandoned facilities, recovering some research data, and uncovering the true extent of ASD's experiments in the regen crisis. These missions that you get assigned will include retrieve energy anomaly data, retrieve security data, retrieve seismic data, and retrieve power usage data. These 4 new missions will require you to go through them in order before you can then pick them all up and do them in any repeatable order, as they've said here. I'm just going to give you a quick look at last year's CitizenCon. We did see, all these different slides of factions and guilds and people who are coming in to accommodate those factions and guilds, and we can see that Hawkrow Agency is indeed one of the mercenary guild factions that was included on the slide. So we are seeing some progress on the CitizenCon 1.0 sort of mission here by just including a new faction and getting them tied in narratively and introducing a mission giver with them like they've been doing for a lot of the patches this year. This is content, and I mean, this is the kind of thing people have been asking for years, but now we are running up against the wall that is like, hey, content is coming into the game, but it's not being supported by feature development. And I think that's what's really the painful part of this year. Regardless, let's keep looking into this. These new mission tracks will take you through 2 open wings of the Onyx facilities. First, research labs. Discover multiple data collection points containing valuable research data and audio logs that reveal the mysterious circumstances behind the facility's abandonment. What would be nice here is if these data collection points actually mattered outside of just being like a pad. I haven't jumped into this yet. I'm actually about to go do that. And then we're going to hop into the podcast with the Astro Historian and talk about what we've seen. But I would love to see these have some value to them. At the same time, if you add value to these things that can be found in these locations, then there will naturally be players who want to steal those valuable points from you, thus creating PvP, and thus leading to the criticism that I think a lot of people will naturally have for these locations once they see the words sandbox activity. The second wing is engineering. Navigate hazardous power systems and radiation zones while demonstrating careful environmental awareness and planning. This sounds a little more interesting. This sounds like they are taking a feature addition, which is radiation, and working it into the content to give us a little bit of a different style of gameplay. We've not had to deal with hazardous conditions too much in this game, and that on its own has meant less emphasis on the armor you're wearing, less emphasis on how you move around a space, less emphasis on paying attention to your UI. If we go back to CitizenCon 2023, we will see that the radiation that they were putting into the game at the time is something that they specifically wanted people to have to worry about when it came to your specific whereabouts. Are you hidden? Are you moving? Are you actually playing the game as they want you to? This is a deterrent. This is something that might happen from engineering. It might happen from the Pyro Star. It might happen from weapon effects at some point. But for now, it's happening based on the environments in these locations, and I love that they are including that. The next bit here is a mission distribution tech update, which we did see on the roadmap. It reads, "This is included in 4.3 as an updated way of directing players around locations for missions that are unlimited, such as hauling, Wicklow collections, and the new Onyx location missions. This system should greatly improve location spreading when many players are attempting the same missions." That is key. They need to make sure that as these missions are added to the game, they are made in a way that can scale when more players join. We're not a big group right now, and to be quite honest, what they're adding to the game isn't really for us. This stuff is all geared towards a 1.0 launch that would see players jumping in 2 months from now, 5 months from now, a year from now. Repeatability, playability, and the ability to try these missions out without just reading them from patch notes and then jumping into the new patch and seeing all the people who are there. They've got to be ready for the ebb and flow of popularity that these locations are going to go through as they update the game and as the game gets better and better for people to join. Assuming it does. The weapons updates for this patch introduce a powerful new weapon, the Zenith sniper rifle from Volt, that combines the raw punch of a charged sniper shot with the rapid fire precision of a marksman's rifle. A 4x optic on this might be really cool, depending on how quickly it fires. The Zenith rifle's ability to automatically charge when held gives you more flexibility in the battlefield at the cost of being audible to possible hostiles. The Zenith comes with the first optic with a built-in charge and heat tracker, as managing heat is crucial and overheating renders the weapon temporarily inoperable. Players can test this out in weapon elimination and AC. We'll hopefully get a chance to do that. Damage of 42.5, projectile velocity 700, aim down sights 0.32, recoil low, 4 to X times scope, RPM 492, mag size 22. That means nothing to me until I get and shoot the gun myself. Charge multiplier has an ammo cost of 3, projectile speed of ×2, and damage multiplier of ×2. So that charge shot actually sounds really powerful. Looks like they also did a little bit of feature crunching on the Volt shotgun, fixing a bug that was causing knockdowns unintentionally, and ammo type availability in stores has been greatly increased and balanced around all weapon shops. Solid. Besides that, on the core tech front, introducing dynamic snow to select locations where snow already exists, leveraging the same environmental systems that power dynamic rain. This means that the snow will fall based on weather conditions rather than the devs literally saying, in this location snow falls. So now, given proper humidity and temperature, you'll see snowfall. Maybe if you move around that area, it might turn into rain. And possibly, I'm not quite sure how far this goes, but it might form naturally too, rather than being something that just kind of happens. Right now, you're only finding snow on Stanton 4 because, well, I mean, come on. Finally, ladder improvements. Same ladder improvements we saw in 4.2.1 PTU, but obviously they got their feedback, went back and worked a little bit on it, and now they're coming back for the 4.3 PTU to test it out again. Hopefully this is something that leads to the implementation in the live game, because ladders are becoming more and more common around these locations with the buildings that are spawning in the Hathor facilities, the ASD facilities, and obviously in ships there are plenty of ladders. This should be a pretty solid quality of life improvement to the game. Besides that, we've got a whole bunch of potential fixes here but potential is doing some lifting there. Who knows if they are actually confirmed fixes? Who knows if these bugs are not coming from something else that might be causing them? While there might be some good stuff on here we're seeing, particularly here, cargo areas present on top of freight elevator building and placing loose items there will cause internal error, there's no knowing if it makes the biggest difference everyone's looking for. Also, I think this is something that's already in the hotfix, just being officially tagged for this one too. We'll touch back on this after I get some time to play the update and see how it plays and performs, and I will be back with you guys on Monday to have a much deeper discussion about 4.3. If you're interested in learning more, for you who are supporting the podcast, like I said, with Astro Historian, should be published in the next 12-ish hours by the time this goes out to all supporters on the Discord, and it will be live on Monday as well. Go check it out. Thanks for stopping by this news update. Hope you got what you came here for. I'll see you in the next one.